What's going on, guys? William Holtz with Lake TV. Time for another edition of Mic'd Up right here, and our segment presented by You Are Lit Delta 8, the first infused Delta 8 buzzed drinks. Incredibly awesome. Make sure you get yours in stores close to you. And on today's Mic'd Up Podcast, I'm super excited. Two guys I'm familiar with. They're locals. Both went to Camdenton High School. Chase Elliot and Bo Shore join us today to talk a little bit about At Nianguas End, the feature film you guys have been working on. So first and foremost, welcome to the Mic'd Up Podcast.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy you're here. It's surreal for me because I've worked with both of you guys. Out of high school, you got to come help with Lake TV, and Bo, you interned for a little bit. Chase, you actually took a position and worked for a while and still help out time to time. And so to see you guys now launching this feature film, and I'm not talking about like B-grade, low budget, like we just put this together in our basement. No, this is legit At Nianguas End. So it's really cool for me to see you guys doing this, and that's what we're going to talk about is At Nianguas End. And so, Bo, we're going to start with you because from what I understand, it's kind of your baby, your idea, and you wrote this movie script. So tell us about At Nianguas End.
Yeah, so, Chase and I, at heart, we're just a couple of kids who like to make films, So basically, I had this idea for a story about brotherly love, essentially, and I really wanted to tie the lake into it as kind of like the backdrop, as the third character in the story. So basically, Chase and I we went in on this together. I think I conceptualized it, but then Chase added on, and it's just at the heart of it, it's just a very, very good story that just has very good values to it. So.
That's awesome. And so, Chase, for you, like Bo said, it might have been his conceptual idea initially. You come along, you've had some familiar working with Bo. So how did that process work when he came to you and kind of painted the idea, or how did it all come to fruition?
Yeah. So we were wanting to take, because we've done like many short films and projects, and we actually got first place in a national competition for a film that we did. So we've done smaller projects, but we really wanted to do something that took it to the next level. And so we're shopping around some ideas, and Bo, I think this was an idea he had for a long time, like much longer than what we had been conceptualizing and everything. But there was a few ideas that we had, and there was this competition, this proof of concept competition online that popped up, and we were like, hey, we should do this. This is a great idea for it because it's not too hard to do. We can do it for we don't have to have a ton of money to do it. So because a lot of people don't know, this is actually the second time we've done this. This is the second time that we've made At Nianguas End. And so the first version we made back in 2019, and it was...
It wasn't good.
It was, We tried to do everything ourselves. It was Bo and I, we had like two other crew members, and it didn't turn out what we with the scale and what we were planning. And so we took everything back to the drawing board, and we were like, we want to bring on people to make this better. And so that's how we got Jonna Voles involved, who did the casting, and some of the acting actors, coaches and stuff.
We had like this big casting call to find. So I played the older brother. I've
Ollie,
taken
right?
Ollie, yeah.
Okay.
And basically the reason why I did this is, I dabble in acting. Essentially, I would say I'm cheap, and like I'm available anytime. So we were in this huge search for a younger brother, which would play the Owens. We had like this big, casting. Just we're like casting for the younger brother, and the closest city nearby to us is Springfield. So we had this huge casting call, and then we ended up finding.
And we had quite a few people that submitted for it. We had quite a few, and
they were all great too.
Were you guys surprised at that point in time? It's probably the first time like you went this route, and you're like, we're having a casting call with like people we're gonna put in our movie.
Insane.
So were you guys kind of surprised when you were like, that's a lot of applicants?
People actually want to do this with us. Yeah. It was super surprising. because we did a casting call for the original, and this is kind of embarrassing, but only one person showed up to it for the first go around. Only one person showed up to that one.
So your options were limited.
Yeah. And so this time we were like oh man, I hope this doesn't happen again. And then we were surprised that there was a lot of people that wanted to come out and audition for this. And yeah, we found Phoenix. And yeah, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Phoenix absolutely killed it.
That's awesome. Okay, so one thing I gotta ask, and we've got 2 different videos we're actually gonna include and show inside this feature. We're gonna show you guys the official trailer, which is really good. And then we're gonna show you guys the behind the scenes, which will give you an insight. But before we get to that, Bo, tell us where this idea for At Nianguas End came from, and if you can, without spilling the beans, well, I mean, what's the movie about?
Yeah, so it basically spawned from what like the core values again. I have a little brother, and I wanted to make it about that connection with my brother and I, essentially, and that was good. And then we have this awesome resource at our disposal, and it hasn't really been done in a way that I think they shot like a film here. They shot Ozark here, but they only shot they got like a skeleton crew, right, and they just shot the Strip, Lover's Sleep, and that was essentially it. Yeah. And they shot the rest in Georgia.
The Lake of the Ozarks being the
it's the big draw here, and you're saying I got this in my backyard.
Right.
Yeah, and we grew up here, we were born and raised here. Well, I was born and raised. You were raised.
I was
here.
definitely raised here.
Yeah. So it's just this is a place that's so important to us, and we just really wanted to show that, and I mean in this story. All right, so without spilling the beans, all right?
Well, I'm fine if you do, because listen, I've been talking to you guys for a little bit about this. Yeah. I've been chomping at the bit to see this since I first saw the trailer and behind the scenes. So spoil as much as you want to, because I'm ready to know.
I think, so this film is more of a proof of concept, meaning that it could be a part in a feature film. So there's more to see. So there's going to be like a cliffhanger, maybe. I don't want to spoil too much.
So essentially, it could be an untold story where you don't necessarily know. After the film's over, you're left with questions.
Right.
So there's opportunity maybe for, I don't want to spill the beans either because I don't know, but a part 2 or 3 or opens up avenues later on.
Well, a possibility, because this is it's a short film. It's a short.
How long?
It's about 15 minutes. It's a short version that we wrote specifically to get people interested because it's expensive to make a movie.
Oh, people have no idea.
Yeah, it's very expensive, and so we want to get people interested. We want to get people involved in this in any way that they can, and so we're using this this fully out of pocket made short film to hopefully get people excited for the feature. Essentially, is kind of what we're using it for.
So, Bo, tell me real quick. So what would you tell people, without spilling the beans, when someone asked you, and they have thousands of times the last few years, so what's your movie about? What would you tell them?
Okay, 2 brothers, right? There's Ollie, there's Owen. Ollie's the older brother, Owen's the younger brother. Ollie is suspected of committing the murder of a very powerful, corrupt member of family member of the lake area. And essentially he's on the run and he's hiding out. And the only person who knows where he's at is the younger brother, Owen. But he's being hunted. There's this huge statewide manhunt for Ollie. So basically, it's all the arrows are pointing towards Owen on where is Ollie.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Could be some, honestly, you talk about this area, I mean, men in power and corrupt. I mean, it could be after an actual character here at Lake of the Ozarks for all we know. So really cool. So first what I want to do is, before we go into too much about how the movie's about, I just want to show you guys the behind the scenes. And then after we let them see that, then we can break down some of these characters and these experiences you guys have got. But this really gives a good insight for what you could expect when you watch At Nianguas End.
At Nianguas End started back in 2019. I had this idea for a film, and I went to Chase, and we saw eye to eye. So we shot the first rendition of it, not really that experienced, and it was awful by our standards today.
There was a proof of concept competition. Bo and I, the young lads that we thought, let's give it a shot. Did not turn out very good. We tried to do a lot of things ourselves. We also, one, had no budget and had no time. What are we doing?
This is what it takes. We are a little bit we're in shallow water, but it's fine because it's for the film.
We spent a couple years honing our craft as filmmakers. We came back to this project more matured and more ready for it. We got a bigger crew, a bigger budget, and we already shot this the first time. So the second time around, we're gonna learn from our mistakes from the first time, and it showed to be more promising.
Needless to say, the first version probably will not be seen by any viewers anytime soon. I'm documenting our journey. At Nianguas End, behind the scenes, location scouting. Pretty comfortable in the boat.
Yeah. You just enjoy yourself there, sweetheart.
I still haven't seen the original Nianguas End. I still haven't seen it all the way through. You wouldn't let me watch it through.
Whenever this one gets fully done, I think we'll have to make some sort of pact just to let you see it.
We were like,
All right.
like before we shot, we didn't want to show it to you, and you'd be like, "Oh man, do these guys know what they're doing?" Like, what's
Right.
One thing that we knew we needed to do this time around was surround ourselves with a talented crew of people and not try to do everything ourselves. You know, I'm natively a director of photography, and Bo is very visual as well. So we had a very strong idea of how this needs to look, and we brought on our good friend Clayton Potter.
You know, getting the job was kind of a funny process. When at that time, unbeknownst to me, Chase and Bo went and watched some of my older DP work. There was one particular shot in a film I had done that they really loved. To come to find out that one shot ended up actually being a B crew shot, something I didn't necessarily have a heavy hand in. And so it was kind of funny because that's what got me the job on Nianguas End, but I'll take it.
Even like the harshest of critics said that the cinematography was amazing in this, and I definitely agree. The cinematography is incredible.
Man, with Phoenix Buckner, he left me speechless. All of us speechless at that. I really got to give a lot of credit to Jonna Foles. She helped out so much with this project, and I could not have been more thankful. She made us really see clearly that Phoenix was the right fit for this role, and she couldn't have been more right.
Phoenix blew this out of the water. He brought the depth to that character to a whole new degree that really makes the story, because a lot of it, you know, it's about emotion, it's about reaction.
My aunt texted me and was like, "Hey, I've got a role that I think you'd be perfect for." And I wanted a role that would push me out of my comfort zone and get me to where I would like to be in the acting field. And it really did that. I figured out I was being a little brother, which I'm used to because I have an older brother myself. And so I could draw a lot from my personal experience, but also just being there in the spot with Bo and rehearsing it. And I just got myself even further into that headspace to really knock it out.
The John Bo, it's kind of like your supporting character almost in this. It's like by the end of the shoot, you knew how to drive the John boat better than anyone. When we started, you'd never driven one before, right?
Well, yeah, and he pushed me out in the water with the drain plug undone. So I was like, there's a puddle of water in here, and it's kind of slowly rising. And he's like, you'll be fine, man. And I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's getting pretty deep. And so we had to like lasso me back onto shore. Go at it, buddy. Have fun. Like, I don't know about this.
So yeah, Phoenix did amazing. He was a huge asset to this project. You know, Bo wrote the idea. It's his baby. And then not only did he write and also produce, but he was Ollie. He was the older brother. I think because he wrote the character, he understood the character so well, and it made it directing super easy when your actor just knows the character inside and out. It makes it so easy. Like I get to ask the actor questions about the character. It's really great. So
as far as my role, Ollie, goes, I would say he's someone that is etched in with the town. He is the kind of guy you really want to root for, but he always just slightly misses his mark. He knows what the right thing is to do, but for the life of him, he can't bring himself to do it. It's really self-indulgent being one of the creators, the producer, and starring in this, but I can't really explain it. When it came to this, I had to play this part.
So Bo is absolutely obviously essential because this is his story, this is his baby. It's incredible. The group of people that we have in this, both cast and crew, it's really made this even better knowing that we have such a wonderful group of people that love this idea as much as we do. It takes a village for sure, and we built one hell of a village for this.
And this isn't just about us. We have a whole mountain of people to thank for making this idea come into reality. I'm going to get emotional here, but I got to give a lot of credit to Chase. This is something that is so near and dear to me, and none of this would have happened without Chase. The fact that he took this in with utmost importance, it truly means a lot.
And yeah, he came to me as the writer, as the one who came up with the idea, and asked me to direct, which I was so happy to be asked. I related to it instantly because I have brothers, I have older and younger brothers, so I related to it both ways. It's definitely a story that's heavy in brotherly love. And so it spoke to me, and I think anyone with a sibling, it's gonna speak to them too. And so I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to this story. As much as it is a brotherly love story, it's also a love story to the Lake of the Ozarks because, the lake means a lot to me, means a lot to Bo. We both grew up there. This was definitely the biggest project I've ever directed, and it's also my first time not doing the cinematography. And so that was kind of hard for me, letting go of that, letting Clayton do his thing while I focused on directing and focused on the actors and making sure everything was running smoothly.
I knew very quickly that Chase was going to have a very specific vision as a DP himself, now doing his directorial debut, that he really knew what he wanted. He sent me this fantastic lookbook that had all kinds of great films in it. Kind of slower was the style of the films that he had been sending, this sort of rhythm to it where you just kind of let the scene just kind of be there and play out in front of you. Something Bo had said to me was he wanted it to look painterly. I went and looked at a lot of environmentalist paintings, just looking at these nice landscape photography, landscape paintings, just to kind of get the idea of this like sweeping wide.
Started by making a playlist of a bunch of songs that I figure Owen would have listened to as he was going through all this family stuff. So I started with that, and then I went out and hung out with Bo a little bit, and that was cool. We got to talk and get to know each other better, and really connect to relay that connection onto screen, as brothers.
When it came to actually framing up and getting shots and everything, and lighting in production, really it was just calling back on that same lookbook style. Obviously there had been lots of, I had been to the locations multiple times already. When it came to on the day, we knew what we were going for, we knew what we were looking for, and we were able just to knock out these scenes. The actors were there on point, directing was perfect. We had a great crew, and it was just fantastic. We were able to start knocking stuff out, and it was a joy. Long hours, but a great time with friends for sure. So
I think it's awesome. Honestly, I loved every minute of it. I mean, everybody was on the same page. We were, having little huddles before we went out, and production was really smooth. I loved everybody on the crew. Everybody was awesome. We were just having fun making a movie.
It's easy to direct something where the actors are doing incredible, just innately doing amazing, and the DP is doing amazing, the cast and crew, everyone's doing amazing. It's so easy to direct when you have such a great crew surrounding you. So it was a blast. The worst part was I didn't get any sleep. I slept like 3 hours over the course of 3 days. Yeah, it was a blast. It was such a fun time directing. Really,
the only little recovering I had to do was that last day on my drive home. Got teary-eyed while I was on the drive home. I had all that build up because it, obviously was weighing on my character, that it was just a lot of stress and a lot of sadness. So I kind of just had to let that all just leave whenever I was on my way home and in the car by myself, and let it flow out of my eyes, out of my mouth, however I needed it to.
When watching this, you're going to get a sense that everything is heightened. This film at its core is about two brothers and their love for each other. They didn't grow up with the best home life, and at the end of the day, they're really all they got. And that's something that really is highlighted.
Right now in the story, we're following Owen, and at the beginning, we're not really sure what's going on. We know he's waking up really early. He's gathering some supplies. We're not really sure what's going on, and then we find out very soon the situation, and it's revealed throughout the short film, and we're basically kind of in the middle of it. It's an incredible point in the story, and I think we chose this specific point in the story to go ahead and use as our proof of concept because we knew it's kind of a turning point.
The story being a story of two brothers, stakes and fear and love, I felt like it's a story of reaction to fear. Together they kind of set, and there was a little bit more wide. We've seen a little bit more of the environment because they felt safe together. But then as they begin to divide and their anger towards each other, I cut them out of each other's shots, and we just end up with they're alone and they're scared, and they're trapped in this dingy little shack. And in a way they're trapped not only in the shack, but they're also trapped by the events that are happening. And so it created this feeling of tension and fear. I felt like that really worked for the film.
Took about a full year to edit. We went through many drafts of this version. The first one was 27 minutes, then we got down to 25, then to 20, and then we cut it little by little down to 15 minutes, which will be the version that you will be watching.
Bo and I are both editors, and so we went into this kind of with the mindset of an editor, knowing kind of how we wanted to cut our transitions. I think we both saw the movie in our heads before the camera rolled.
I showed it to my mom, my dad, and my girlfriend. The overall response was, where's the actual movie? Where's the full movie?
This is a proof of concept again. It's we're planning on turning this into a full-length feature.
It's going to be a feature film that people are going to be able to really get into the gritty of this story and find out what's happening between these two brothers and the details and what's going on with this whole other family that's hunting Bo's character. And so it's kind of this tense kind of story that I think is interesting. And so I would love really in the future just to head that direction and see really what plays out in this story and really where it heads.
Oh man, I would say this film is a love letter to a place that I and many others hold so dearly. We just want to say thank you for all the time and support that's been given in the lead up to this release. And we are super excited to be sharing at Nianguas End with you here very soon.
So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I've known Chase and Bo for a while, and I know you guys are super talented and super passionate and hardworking, but I did not realize how big of a project you guys had embarked on, and that behind the scenes just gave me such a good idea of how much you put into this. And so now that we've gotten to see that and you've been introduced to some of the characters, Bo, I don't know if you got a chance to kind of tell us what the movie's completely about, but so they're looking for Ollie, and the only person that knows is his younger brother. And so where did that idea actually come from?
Man, where did it come from, Chase?
You came up with the idea.
I'm not really like I wouldn't call myself like a writer, or like I do like telling stories though. And I think it's loosely based on some things that we've seen and helped me with this too. Like we watched the movie Mud with Matthew McConaughey in it, and it's kind of like a similar storyline. It's not like we're not plagiarizing by any means,
right,
but it's got like a similar storyline of this guy on the run from the cops, essentially. And then what are other ones that we talked about?
So, well, and another thing I'll bring up is we're both like, obviously Bo has a younger brother and older sister. I'm the middle child. I have older brothers and younger brothers, or a younger brother. So I think the theme of brotherly love, or being about brothers, that was something that not only like we could relate to, because I mean that's like when Bo came to me with the idea, I read it and I was like, or he was telling me about it, and I was like, yeah, this is great, like, because I instantly thought like what if something happened to me, and would my brother go through the lengths that Owen does to help his older brother, or like, if my older brother, something happened to them, like what lengths would I go to help my older brother? And so, and I think, obviously Bo has siblings too. And so that's something that we could relate to, and we knew a lot of other people could also relate to, just like sibling love, or like the love of a really good friend, and like the lengths that you would go to help them or save them. And so yeah, I think that's what drew me to it for sure. And I think obviously, yeah, like Mud was a big inspiration. Just tonally wise, I would say, and it kind of takes place. It's on a river. I'm not sure exactly where it takes place, but it's kind of on a river, and so that was a big inspiration for kind of the tone and the feel of this. But yeah, and like movies like Hell or High Water, which is kind of similar, as in like it's two brothers who are criminals, although ours aren't criminals, but kind of similar as in like yeah, what are the lengths you would go to help your brother, to save your brother, or like at what point would you turn a brother or sister, a best friend in if they did something? Like at what point would that happen?
Yeah,
and
how
so,
far is that loyalty?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where, I guess, like that's what drew me to it for sure. That because I really could relate to it.
Okay, so I gotta ask. Seeing you guys did this the first time, you told us, and in that behind the scenes, we got to see, some of that first project. And talk to us about just that experience from completing the first one, getting that feedback, to moving ahead to round 2 and realizing, okay, we need to make some money because this is going to take a lot more money.
Yeah.
We need to get some more equipment, and we have to get other people involved. Talk about maybe that learning process and some of the risks that you guys had to take so you guys could get to this point where this thing's coming to fruition. Bo, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first time around, every year, as I would say, I would call ourselves filmmakers, or we're attempting it essentially. Not pro, I don't know, it's such a vague term, but so we decided, we're like, let's just do this ourselves. How hard can it be? Like I'll be the actor, I'll be the producer, I'll be part of the creation process.
Because we had made a lot of small
Yeah.
projects before like that, where we were pretty much everything, and so that's kind of the way that we went.
And
with
our
it.
moms and dads were like, this is amazing. Why don't you show this to a broader
Right.
audience? And so we kind of had that mindset, I think, coming in basically. We're just doing it ourselves. Like you were the director of photography. You directed this. You were the editor.
Yeah.
You did the score, the music. Like you ripped some stuff off the internet. But you were it was just Chase and I who just made this, and we had other people that were like warm bodies essentially that like we didn't know what to do with them because we do all this stuff ourselves. So
yeah, we had 2 crew members, and it was our best friend and now roommate who came along, was like, yeah, how can I help out? And then someone I went to school with came on and helped out, but that was it. And we went to it, and obviously it takes a village, and we learned that pretty quick that it takes a village. And that was back in 2019. And so yeah, we finished it, and we were like, okay, this could be so much better. Yeah. How good can we make this if we threw a little bit of money at it? We didn't have a ton to work with, but we out of pocket threw some money at it, and got as many people as we could that knew what they were doing, that complimented us. I would say more so, people that complimented us and that could do what we couldn't do. We built a village this time around.
Yeah, and it was one heck of a village, as you said in the featurette. Yeah. But that's something we learned, though, is, okay, so Chase, you are the director. Your job is to direct. We get someone to be the cinematographer of it and have the camera. He's in control. We have people setting up lights. Just people doing their own individual jobs that is meant to, it's meant to happen.
And excelling at it.
Yeah.
Not doing a lot of things really good, but excelling at that one thing.
I could just be an actor in that and enjoy that process.
Yeah. And we're not gonna pretend like there wasn't, like, everyone was wearing a ton of hats on this. Like Bo, you saw it in the featurette. He was doing on the clapboard sometimes, and he was setting up lights and helping out. And I was I took the camera a ton and got shots, and so it's not to say that we weren't wearing a ton of hats for this. And it definitely it was a small cast and crew for what we're trying to pull off for sure, but it was definitely we wanted more people involved.
So going from that year one and kind of learning that, take us forward to then you're in the second time around, and you guys are starting to move forward on this project, and now you two have this crew of professionals that you've hired, you're in charge of, and are working on your film. What was that like as far as transitioning from it being a small project that you were 100% in control of to leading a crew of professionals that, they were all working on your project? What was that like?
Yeah.
It was like imposter syndrome.
It was. Yeah, it was weird because I had never, Bo and I both, we had never really done anything like that. And like now, we moved to Atlanta, we worked on some bigger stuff, but we shot this last year. We had done some commercial stuff and done some projects, but nothing like where I was directing this many people and Bo was acting in front of this many people and this like intense of a scene of scenes and everything.
I'd say being in charge of all this too, because we're both in charge of this. You wake up, because this was a 3-day shoot at this whole small feature or film.
The short film.
Yeah, it was a 3-day shoot. And so you wake up like on day 2, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I really in charge of all these people and all this? Do I make this ship go? Like, am I the guy for this, or are we the guys for this? And
it's like I got a total of about 3 hours of sleep over the course of shooting this for 3 days. I got about it was definitely probably the most like taxing thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding too, I would say.
So let me ask you this: through this whole process, and all of the growth and all of the trials, is there a takeaway where now that you guys are seeing this come to fruition and the excitement is building about this debuting, is there a moment or a portion of this project that you look back on and you say, man, that was my favorite thing that I either take away from or I learned or experience we shared? Is there one thing you can put your finger on?
How far we've come, essentially.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because we have something we have something we can like visually see. We have the one that we did back in 2019, and then this one that we've done now. And so it really puts into perspective in the best way possible, because you literally have, a version that's a couple years apart, and you can really see how far you've come. So
it's so cool to have something that you're proud of, and to show, this awesome area that we live, and to just highlight that, and then just show it to the community, and get their intake on it and see what they think about it. I think that's also incredible. But that's, when we release it, eventually, it's coming soon. So
well, that was going to be my next question. Is so how soon can we that have seen the trailer and the behind the scenes and are watching this interview, how soon can we see it, and how will we see it?
Well, so it's coming, like Bo said, very, very soon. We're honestly hoping possibly next week, at the soonest, I would say, possibly a week after that. But
by
for
early
sure
to
within the next 2 weeks.
By early to mid-December, though, this thing's going to be out.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
available.
Early December. And what we're going to do is we're going to release the official poster, and along with that, we will have the official release date. But yeah, it's coming within the next couple weeks, and so.
And then how will we be able to watch it?
So we're going to release on Facebook. We're not sure if we're going to post it on Facebook or just post like a Vimeo link or something. But we will post it on Facebook. We'll post it on our Instagram page, and then people will be able to go view it, watch it, completely for free. But something else that we're going to be doing along with the release is we're going to be kickstarting our crowdfunding campaign to raise money for the feature film. And so we want people to watch this and at the end of it be like, where I want to see more. Like, how can I see more? And the way you can see more is by helping us make this into an actual feature film, a full-length feature film.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's kind of, but for sure we'll be releasing on Facebook, and we will be releasing on our Instagram page, at Nianguas End Instagram page. So
very cool.
Yeah.
So for both of you now, I mean, because you've been through the tough times, the sleepless nights, oh man, we need that piece of equipment, but there's no money in the bank. So to get past all that and be sitting here, you're seeing all this positive reactions on Facebook. You're seeing, Bo told us, he got a haircut and the ladies were gooing and gawing over him and, talking about the movie. So how does it feel now for you guys in this moment? I mean, how does it feel?
Well, we're sitting here being interviewed right now. So it definitely, and it's weird because there's been so many, and I'm sure, I know Bo can attest to this, but there's definitely over the course of for sure the last year that we've been in this, but even the first time around, there was definitely this feeling of hopefully people are into this, hopefully they like it, a lot of what ifs, what if this happens, what if that happens. I'm sure Bo has a lot of.
Yeah, I went to get my haircut today, at Hair Art Studio, and Little plug there. But
Love it.
yeah, no, they're great there. But they were just, everyone was like, I saw the trailer. I'm super excited to see what the film looks like. And just, I had someone getting their haircut also saying that to me. And like, I didn't really know either. And I just, that alone, I'm like, okay, I'm really excited because there's some people watching this at least,
Oh, yeah.
other than our moms and dads and our close family. So
I think you guys are going to surprise yourself with how many people are interested and excited, about this.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, we're making this for the Lake of the Ozarks. Like, we're making, obviously, like, this is a film that we would watch, that we want to make, but at the end of the day, like, this is something that we're doing as a love story almost to the Lake of the Ozarks, because we love the area, we love the people, and so we're giving back to what raised us pretty much, and in the best way that we possibly can, which is to make a movie, and hopefully everyone digs it and wants to see more and help us out with this, because it's if the first 15 minutes took the army that it did, the next hour and a half is going to take an even larger group of people and an even larger army and everything. So
okay, cool. Now I want to give you guys an opportunity while you've got everybody watching. 2 things. I guarantee you there's a long list of people that you guys want to thank.
ooh,
so many.
yeah, so many.
A mountain of people.
The floor is yours, so fit as many as you possibly can and can remember.
So the house we did.
That we shot at.
We shot out, yeah. It's an old cabin. It's been in this family's like just for generations essentially. It's super old. It's like a 1950s style house. So Deb Anderson and family, huge shout out to them. Sean Machino, my dad, like they worked together, coached together. So Sean Machino and family, G Marina. I want to say shout out to John Nivols and Phoenix Buckner for that was the casting director, and Phoenix was the lead actor. Oh my gosh, people are gonna be so mad when I forget to
Chase
names.
will get them too.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously, both of our parents.
Huge help.
Bo's parents supplied a lot of the boats that we used, a lot of the housing that we gave to some of the cast and crew. My family did some catering stuff, helped out with food and feeding everyone, and our dads are both in it. They both have a little cameo.
You'll see
in
Jeff
it.
Shore in it.
Well, behind the scenes, I saw your dad in a clip, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
That might be spoiling a little bit too
that
much.
might be spoiling a little bit, but our dads are both in it. My brother Cass, he was the assistant director for one of the days. He helped keep me sane and helped keep us on schedule and on time.
Shout out to Lake TV, Andrew.
Andrew,
borrowed one of the cameras because.
Oh yeah, we appreciated the love. If you guys saw that behind the scenes stuff, Lake TV hat was everywhere. So we appreciated the love.
Yeah, that was a thank you for letting us borrow a camera. We had this big debacle that happened with the camera. So.
And as you guys know now, the show always must go on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
In this industry. Well, I gotta say, for me, really gratifying for you guys to be doing this. I'm really proud of you, because to see you both come in and help us out here at Lake TV and then go on to chase your dreams, I'm incredibly proud of you guys, and the lake is incredibly proud of you guys. And I really want you to have an opportunity to tell these people that are going to watch this 15-minute video, when this ends, this short film, there's going to be a need there between funding and between people that want to get involved in the crew or want to help with those things. So tell us what those needs might be and how, if they're interested, they can get in contact with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
So we plan on launching an Indiegogo, just talking about the budget and what goes into making this, because there's a lot of misconceptions, like, oh, it might be super easy, like
film this on the phone.
That's what we came into the first time we did it, and it was furthest thing from the truth. But yeah, honestly,
we want to do this right. We want to do this in the best way we possibly can, and so to give the people at the lake what I believe that they deserve. We want to get all the best cameras and the best lights and the best everything, the best crew that we possibly can involved in this, to make this as amazing and as perfect and a real movie as possible. So definitely like helping fund this is going to go a very long way.
I would say we have an email that we basically have been in contact with for this at Nianguas End. It's called EloreProductions@gmail.com.
ELOR.
Yeah, ELORE at gmail.com.
Productions at gmail.com.
We'll put it on screen right here.
Yeah, it'll be-
ELORE Productions at gmail.com. And they can even inquire and ask questions and see how they can get involved or help fund or, you
right.
know.
Because I mean, there's other things too, like feeding, helping feed, because we want to, like I said, bring people, as many people as we can, as far as acting and actors and crew and everything, and we have to feed all those people. So people that can help with catering, people that can help with props and with giving us, because there's a lot of boats involved in
They
this.
want a craft services director is what they want. Someone to help.
Craft services, exactly.
They want to feed the crew and the staff. And the other thing I had to say is there's one thing I had to get out there while we got you guys here. I told them that you guys got to work with me. There's one video this guy did a while back, and you said we were offset. He said that it was in his more creative days or whatever, his darker days or whatever.
My angst.
But yeah, we got to see this shot. You actually, in the winter of, I guess, your family's pond or the lake, or
It's the lake, yeah.
literally broke through the ice, swam under, and then put your face looking up at your camera. It was one of the most epic shots ever done down here. So I got to ask, what in the heck is wrong with you, and where'd that idea come from?
Yeah, I was like a 17-year-old angsty teenager, I'm like, I want to do something deep, but
Deep indeed. It was awesome.
yeah, it was cool. Like looking back, I don't want to give away too much because it really wasn't like, it looks dangerous, it looks awesome, but that's the thing about filmmaking is you can make these things look incredible, and then
don't give anything away.
When you see it really goes on, you're like, oh, it really wasn't that impressive,
Well, you fooled me. I thought it was awesome. I was like, that guy's crazy. Like, what a cool shot, too. So I thought that was awesome. And you've always been creative. So, guys, seriously, I'm really proud of you. I was going to ask you what's next, but that's to turn this into the full feature film, which I'm confident is going to happen. And so as we leave here today, you guys got to see the behind the scenes. We're going to leave you with the trailer, but make sure you plug in. Is there somewhere a filmmaking page, or is there a site that we can go to so we can stay updated and in touch with you guys?
Yeah, at Nianguas End Instagram page.
Oh, awesome. So there's an Instagram page.
Yeah, Instagram page, and then Facebook. We try to post as much as we can on Facebook and everything, and
We're about
share.
to create a website also, I want to say, and the funding for this film as well that we can be reached out at too, which we will provide. It's in the process of being made right now.
Yeah. The Indiegogo will be a way, but for right now, I would say Instagram at Nianguas End on Instagram, and then EloreProductions@gmail.com is our email too. So.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, keep it up. Incredible stuff. I'm really eager to see this finished product. I know that it's coming really soon, so I look forward to that. Before we go, big thank you to You Are Lit Carbonated Buzz Drinks, your title sponsor of the Mic'd Up Podcast right here on Lake TV. For Chase and for Bo, two Lake locals doing big things, we thank you guys for your time and good luck in all your future endeavors.
Yeah, thank you. It was a
for
pleasure
having
being
us.
on. Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Camdenton Police Department is still on the lookout for 23-year-old Oliver Manning. He is suspected of committing the murder of Todd Becklin last month.
Tell him what, that I killed Todd Becklin? What are you talking about? And I enjoyed every second of it, too.
Now, it appears that the Becklin family has decided to start their own statewide manhunt, and the reward for the capture of Manning is set at $50,000.
How'd you change my routine? The Becklins, they won't leave me and Mom alone. You're gonna go and get yourself killed just like Dad!